for the success of this year. It is my privilege to introduce today's event and extend a heartfelt welcome to one and all. At the outset, I gratefully acknowledge the continued support of our management, organizing committee, and all well-wishers from the industry and the alumni community. Your partnership has enabled us to build meaningful academic, professional, and collaborative activities year after year, including today's special event. Over the last few years, we have instituted a significant annual tradition, the PhD Alumni Meet, combined with the conferring of the YUDO Best Polymer Technocrat Award, fully sponsored by YUDO Group of Industries, Mumbai. Our sincere gratitude to Shri Vishal Agarwalji, President of YUDO, for his wholehearted and unwavering. This initiative was envisioned by our beloved former HOD, late Dr. Siddharaman, in collaboration with our distinguished alumnus, Shri V. Tej Kumar, who continues to be a pillar of support for all departmental activities. We remain deeply grateful to both of them. Our department has nurtured 34 batches of BE graduates, 35 PhD scholars, and 18 batches of MTech graduates. Through this award, we identify and celebrate excellence among more than 1,000 PhD alumni working across the globe. Beyond recognition, this celebration motivates our entire alumni fraternity to keep excelling and contributing meaningfully to the polymer sector and society. I wish to present a quick reflection on the legacy of the past four editions of this Europe Award. The first edition recognized Shri Ganesh, a 1992 graduate and founder of PLS Polymer and People Industries. The second edition was conferred on Shri B. Tej Kumar, the second on the dais, Vice President, Prada Bosai, and a role model for industry academia engagement. The third edition honored Sri Nagaraj Dade, a research scientist established with several publications and patents, who is also my classmate. The fourth edition was awarded to Sri Ashwin Shetty, CEO of Vidyarashmi Group of Vidyarashmi Group and Arogya Plus Healthcare, and former engineer manager at Airbus, Australia. The fifth edition will be announced shortly, and we sincerely hope this legacy continues year to come. Coming to our alumni meet, our alumni have always been one of our strongest pillars. Almost every weekend, at least one alumnus visit the department. Many others remain actively connected through various academia, industrial, and research platforms. Their support in placements, higher studies, internships, and collaboration is invaluable. We are truly proud of our alumni fraternity. Since last year, an additional recognition has been added to this event, which is SBG Memorial Best Outgoing Student Award. This was instituted through the initiative of Sri B. Tej Kumar. In the year 2024, this was awarded to Mr. Milan, who is present today. And he will be, and today we will be presenting the award for this year's all-rounder performer, and it will be announced shortly. Initially, we had received kind consent from two eminent personalities to grace today's function. Firstly, Dr. A. M. Santosh Kumar sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of the SSU. Secondly, Shri Vishal Agarwalji, President YUDO Group Mumbai. However, due to unavoidable last-minute demands, the Honorable PC sir was called to attend an important meeting, and Vishal sir had to leave urgently owing to a family medical emergency. Nevertheless, we offer our respects to both of them in their absence. We are deeply honored to have with us Dr. C. Natarajan, Principal SJC, and D. Engineering Technology, JSSST. Seth has been a pillar and bridge of strength and leadership across all of our institutional activities. We warmly welcome you, sir, and I request Dr. Pradeepa KG to welcome him with a token of respect. Our cherished alumnus, Sri B. Tejkumar, whose name is synchronous with PSK's growth and industry connect, is with us today. Dear Tejsam, we are truly privileged to have you with us as a chief guest. I request Dr. Kameshwari Devi to welcome him. Representing today's sponsoring industry, YUDO partner, I am pleased to welcome Mr. Padisamy, Area Sales Manager. Thank you for joining us. Request Dr. to welcome. We are equally glad to have among us our alumni representative for today's meet, Mr. Krishna Joshi, Vice President at Blind Pillars, leading strategy and growth across Mumbai, Silvassa, Delhi, and UAE. A warm welcome to you, dear Joshi. I request Mr. Sandesh to welcome you. He will be introduced in details in a while. I also extend a warm welcome to all dignitaries of the dais, heads of various sections, invited industry experts, faculty members, alumni. A couple of alumni from 2006 batch are here. It was really surprise for us. And latest graduated couple of years, young alumni are also sitting there. I welcome you all for this. On behalf of Alumni Committee and SAC you, I wholeheartedly welcome each one of you to the award ceremony and Alumni Meet 2025. With this, I invite the August gathering to participate fully in today's event and continue your support in our future endeavors. Thank you all.
Ma'am. Also, getting of Dr. Suran sir and Dr. Kumar Swami sir and Dr. Bharti ma'am. Welcome you all. And this every year, actually takes a real responsibility to identify, gather all of us in a lot of activities. So let's all thank her for coming this event. I request Dr. A.P. Himawari, Associate Professor, to express our token of respect to ma'am. Invoke shall designate through this. I request the dignitaries to kindly join to light the lamp and offer floral tributes to visionary His Holiness Swamiji, Dr. P. Rajendra Mahasagar, Dr. Soumya ma'am, for all the things. planning how to take it on. Please, can you just
ಹಿಂಗ ಬಿಡಿ ಹಿಂಗ ಬಿಡಿ ಹಿಂಗ ಬಿಡಿ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡಿ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡಿ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್
Thank you, guys. No need for special introduction about Dean Tej Kumar sir. Know him and different practices, contributions, and also I have given our WhatsApp group. Keep hearing about him week on week. So I request this to just Mr. Dean Tej Kumar, who is Vice President at Toyota Kosai, South India Private Limited. Thank you.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಶುಭೋದಯ home again. The auditorium campus of Mysore, Mysore, Mysore Park, Mysore, Mysore ಸುವಾಸನೆ ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ. ನಿನ್ನೆ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಅದೇ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಶ್ರಮಿಸಿ ಸರ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಸಾಹೇಬರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ನಮ್ ಕಾಲೇಜು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರಿಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಮಗೂ ಮಾತಾಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರ್ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. Yesterday I was at Richard Aerospace for a quality activity. So incidentally, EGM quality is also from Mysore. So ನೀವು ಯಾವುದು ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದು ಮೈಸೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಕಾಲೇಜು ನಾನು JC ಯಾವ ವರ್ಷ ಪಾಸ್ ಔಟ್ 95 ನಾನು 95 ಪಾಸ್ ಔಟ್ ಅದು ಯಾರು ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ನಾನು NI ಕಾಲೇಜು ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮೂರೇ ಆಗುತ್ತಾರೆ. I was 4 days back. I was in Japan. I came back from Japan. So ಒಂದು ಹೋಟ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಕೊಲೀಗ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ ಸೌತ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ಅದೇ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸಾಂಬಾರ್ ತಿನ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಸ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಹೌದಪ್ಪ ಯಾವ ಊರು ಮೈಸೂರು ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಮೈಸೂರು ಏನಪ್ಪ ಮೈಸೂರು ಯಾರು ಸರ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಣ್ಣ ಈ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರು ಹಂಗೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ನು ನನ್ನ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್. ಸೊ ಅವ್ನು ದುಬೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಈ ಕೆಂಪು ಜಪಾನ್, ನಾನು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ ಜಪಾನ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆ ಮೈಸೂರು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಆ ಮೈಸೂರು ಸೊಗಡೆ ಆತ ನಮ್ಮನೇಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ನಿನಗೆ ಆ ಮೈಸೂರು ಮೈಸೂರು ಅಂತ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪದ ಕಿವಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆ ಆ ಕಡೆ ನಂಬ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀಯ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಹಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಸೊ Tommy, the whole purpose of this event already Rupa madam very well. Nange, I am really very grateful to Vishal Agarwal. Was today, in fact, Vishal Agarwal, we both had planned to come together from Bangalore. We had put the tickets, we had put the hotel to stay here. Unfortunately, because of some emergency, we had to cancel yesterday. ಚಾಮುಂಡಿ ಬೆಟ್ಟ ದರ್ಶನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ವೆಂಟ್ ರಾಂಗ್. But however, Vishal has been a very great friend of me. He is a president of a Korean very big company called YUDO. So, but the moment at that time, Dr. Sidramaya sir, ನಾನು ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೀ ಕುಡಿತಾ ಕೂತಿದ್ದೆ. ಆ ಕಡೆ ಒಂದು ಟೀ ಅಂಗಡಿ ಇದೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಸರ್ ಅವ್ನ ಎಸ್ಕೇಪೆ ಕೌಂಟರ್ ತರ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವರು ನಾನು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಟೀ ಕುಡಿತಾ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಸರ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. ಒಂದ್ ಟೀ ಕುಡಿಯಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ತೆಗೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ನನ್ ಜೊತೆ ಬಲವಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಸಿ ಟೀ ಕುಡ್ಸೋರು. ಸರಿ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೀತಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಟೀ ಕುಡಿತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಒಂದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಮ್ಮ ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ ಯಾರು ಇದು ಅಂತ ಈಗ ವಿಚಾರ ಬಂದ್ರೆ, ಸರ್ ಈ ತರ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬಾರ್ದು, ಒಂದು ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರ ಬಂತು. ಸೊ ಆ ಪ್ರಸ್ತಾಪನ ಐ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ವಿತ್ ವಿಶಾಲ್ ಅಗರ್. He said, oh, that's a fantastic idea. And that to Polymer industry being a very unique industry. I'm ready to support and tell. That's how the journey began. And we have been doing. And I'm very proud. I was just discussing with Joshi, Krishna Joshi also. When we all passed out about 30 years back, Polymer was not known. Even now, it is not known much compared to the IT industry, but nevertheless, today the opportunities in polymer industry is multifold available. The only thing is that we don't look at opportunity. So from that time to this time, whatever has happened, hats off to the Department of Polymer Science and Technology. I should never forget ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರುಗಳಾದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೆ ಎಚ್ ಜಗದೀಶ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಜಿ ಎಂ ಶಶಿಧರ, and of course ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ sir, the three stars of our department. Probably our ಮೂರ್ ಜನ contribution ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ I'm sure none of us would have been here. At least on this podium, I wouldn't have been speaking for sure. So because of their guidance, we all grew up and today where we are is all because of their blessings. So the way they set up this department, they took up the lead role, and I don't know, so many things they have done. So still that legacy, I think now Dr. Rupa is carrying and along with the staff. So this department is unique, and whenever I talk about people, many of the people when I interact, they say, well, you're a mechanical. Oh no, 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 you're not mechanical. Polymer. Who is that a branch like a polymer? So many forums also I discuss. Recently, I was in the International Manufacturing Summit at BIEC. I was discussing with the senior vice president of TVS Motors, Devarajan. Because we both are in BPIC, that is Bangalore Chamber of Industries and Commerce. He is the president and I am the executive council member. Hey, are you take some Japanese company out of concerns? So take some. I never knew that we were polymer science. What a fantastic concept. So people again are rectangularly. Again, but ಎಲ್ಲದ ರುಚಿ ಅಂತ ಹಾಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ಪಾಲಿಮರ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಬೆಲೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವೇ polymer science has got its unique this one recognition, and polymer science will remain strong because many people don't know what is polymer, they don't know what is plastic, they don't know composites. So I think we are all in the right path. And most of you people and many of you students are also sitting here, alumni are also sitting here. You are all the backbearers of this department. And this recognition of outgoing student or even the alumni is only a way that we are trying to showcase that yes, this department is something unique, will stand out, and students of this department will also be the one who recognized in the global scenario of that. So I think this activity should continue. And as an alumni of this great institute, kinship ಕಾಣಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ದೇವ್ರು ನನ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಅವಕಾಶ. And I strongly believe I still continue to serve this great institute with the blessings of the God and all my past gurus to my last breath. Yes, all the time I'm there to support this institute, and I'm proud of this institute. Thank you again for the opportunity today, and congratulations to students awarded me.
Probably many of us guessed was that. I realized that of course our students are Catholic, expressing softness that we all polymers have. Okay, well, now YUDO President Mr. Agarwal sir has sent a message and will be displaying through a video. I request you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Vishal Agarwal. I'm working as president for YUDO Partner India Brand. I'm really happy to share this message with you all, even though I'm not able to attend the function personally. I'm very sorry about this. I'm not critically attending. But it's always pleasure to connect with Team CSS. This award is really special to us at YUDO because when young entrepreneurs, the entire industry grows with them. For 5 consecutive years, YUDO Partner has been had the privilege to present YUDO Best Polymer Technical Award. Thank you to the entire leadership of JSS STU for allowing YUDO to work with your institution. My sincere thanks to Dr. A. N. Santosh Kumar, Vice Chancellor, Dr. C. Natarajan, Principal and Dean, Rupa ma'am for her support and coordination. I'm very pleased to congratulate Mr. Krishna Joshi, Vice President of Strategy and Growth at Red Colors, on receiving this year's award. Mr. Krishna, your hard work and passion for this field stands out. I wish you all the very best as you move ahead in your career. I also would like to give a special mention about Tezan. He was the one who introduced us to JSS University family. And I'm really grateful for the support and the connection he has built between us and JSS. Thank you once again, Tezan, for your support. As I close, I want to leave you with this. The industry needs curious, driven, and innovative minds like yours. At YUDO, we remain committed to support young talent, encourage innovations, and building meaningful bridges between industry and the. Thank you for having me, and my warmest regards to all of you. We look forward to continue this journey with institutions like JSS. Keep pushing, keep growing. Thank you.
I request very sorry that to convey our thanks to Vishal sir, please. And thanks to technology also. But I have asked for students next year this should be brought in front so that the dignitaries can see they are from. Thank you. And while mentioning, Vishal sir said that it's been in 5 years. So this is the fifth year, fifth edition of the awarding event. So we'll see who all were the previous awardees. So I think begin right now. I'm being sorry. I request English to consider next slide. Sorry. So most awaited. Let us hear about today's award winner, the European Edition award winner. Here on the gathering, it's my privilege to introduce one of our extraordinary leaders from the global polymers and chemical industry. Here's Mr. Georgi, an alumnus of our second batch of BE in PhD, passed out in the year 1993, is one among those true game changers in the world of plastics, elastomers, and strategic business leadership. With over 32 years of impactful experience, Mr. Joshi has worked with some of the world's most respected multinational organizations, consistently driving transformation, innovation, and sustainable growth. He has served on the boards of directors of public and private companies for more than 20 years, providing strategic direction with strong legal, regulatory, and compliance stewardship. He currently serves as the Vice President, Strategy and Growth at Blend Colors, leading new ventures across India, Middle East, and the UAE, driving new technologies, new product lines, and new manufacturing ecosystems. Before this, he was the Managing Director of Wave in India, steering a joint venture across 6 manufacturing units, 6 warehouses, and pan India operations, and later transforming it into a fully owned subsidiary of Waving BV. He set up the Global Technology and Innovation Center in India and shaped the company's 5-year strategy for India's water and infrastructure segment. As managing director of American India, he doubled the business in just 3 years during the peak of COVID, achieved leadership in dope-dyed textile solutions, and ensured uninterrupted production of critical PPE and mask materials even during lockdowns. His earlier tenure with Dow Corning and Multibase spanning 23 years saw him rise from graduate training engineer to global marketing leader, business director for Asia, and managing director. He built business units across China, Korea, Asian, and Middle East, led expansions in China, pioneered thermoplastic elastomer compounding in India. So they were the one who started compounding the TPE for first time in India and championed the growth of patented technologies like thermoplastic silicon vulcanizates in global wearable electronics. One of his notable innovations includes a patented manufacturing process for solar photovoltaic modules aimed at enabling rural employment and inspiring blend of technology and social impact. A proud graduate of HJC's Polymer Science and Technology program, he is also a long distance runner, squash player, yoga enthusiast, and multilingual professional fluent in English, Hindi, Kannada, Marathi, and more. Today, we are honored to have him among us, a visionary professional, a builder of business, a respected industry leader, and a shining ambassador of our department. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Mr. Krishna Joshi to the 5th edition of YUDO November 2025. I request Mr. from YUDO Group to join our dignitaries like our Dean, Chief Guest, and others on the dais and jointly confer the award to Mr. Joshi along with our respectful appreciations. Please. Congratulations to the university. And I thank this. Thank you very much, sir. So, time to listen to the award winner, the Mr. Officer. I request him to share experience, whatever he intends to. And we have a special session after the tea break to listen to him. It's a dedicated 30-minute slot. I request him to share words.
Much. English is probably best since we are. First of all, would like to pay I think a very, very visionary personality. Without whom none of us would have been here. Thank you to all the dignitaries on the stage, principals, Teresa, all lecturers and the fellow students. So today morning, first of all, when I started to come down, there was no doubts anymore. ನಾನು ಸರ್ ಇವಾಗ ಅದೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ ಡೌನ್ಸ್ although it was supposedly for university ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದದ್ದೇ JC ಹುಡುಗರು that was so that kind of tells you how long I have been away from myself. Okay, so that was the first sense of sadness. Okay, there is no more downs. Then as you came further up, entered the gate, honestly there were tears in my eyes. Tears because like take some three personalities who shaped this department and with whom I was very personally involved during the stage that you guys are right now. You know, and when I was a student here in third sem till eighth sem, I mean Jagdish sir, Shashidhar sir, Siddharamayan sir. We were like what we were the second batch. So it was a very transition, a lot of transition happening in the department was taking shape. There are so many things happening. And Jagdish sir is one of a kind, right? I mean, such a visionary personality. Apart from his expertise in chemistry and polymer science, but I think his contribution was to give shape to a polymer science department, which was probably only the second in India. There was only one in Kharagpur at that Kharagpur Butler, and then to give shape from scratch to building up to where we are all here today and with alumni spreading all over the world. And here, I think Jagdish sir, and then ably followed by Shashidhar sir and Siddharamaya sir. I think the memories really came forth as you entered the gate of their event, and I literally had tears in my eyes. They were, sir, so I said, although it's a long story. So again, thank you very much to all of them. It's a very interesting from backbench to the podium. It took 32 years, right? Like back, so we are all backbenchers, like most of us. Whether you are academically good or not, we are all backbenchers, right? So backbench in the and I won't speak much because we have a session later in the afternoon or later after this one. Continuing what they mentioned about polymer science. So when after I finished, well, right, so I chose polymer science and our admission, all admission was done, finished and all. My grandmother was on her death. Okay. Because all admissions was the opportunity to serve her for the last 2-3 weeks that she was suffering. So I was with her throughout the 2-3 weeks because pretty much free admission was done and college was just to start. Then she was like, ಅದೇನೋ ಪಾಲಿಮರ್ ಗಿಲಿಮರ್ ಅಂತ ಏನೋ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ಯಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ ಅದೇನದು ಅಂತ. I explained to her. And fortunately, I had the marks to have got, and I'm not trying to boast out here, but to have got pretty much in the department. Saying ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅದೇನೋ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೋತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನೀನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಗೋತಿಲ್ಲ? Why are you not taking that? Are you sure you are doing the right decision by taking polymers and not taking some other subject? She, at 80 years old, she never knew what polymers was. And then I explained to her, so are you going to sell buckets at all? Bucket get money, you are doing. I think there are other things beyond buckets and also. Although bucket is a very interesting business, very profitable business, but there are other things in polymers. But she was like, are you sure? So I'm sure she must be very happy up there today, seeing the here. this thing done by the department of here. So again, we'll talk a little bit more about the department subsequently and about polymer science, what's life in polymer science industry. I'll share some of my experience. We'll have a very interactive session. With that, once again, I'd like to thank everybody in the department, Rupa ma'am, particularly who has very big shoes to fill of Mr. Suryanarayan Rao, Jagdish, right? Siddaramaiah sir, Shashidhar sir, and all extremely big shoes to fill, which she is continuing to do very ably, supported by the entire team out here. There's one thing which I promised up here today, which I was talking with Rupa ma'am earlier when I was with her, that I've been away from Mysore, been away from JCE, been away from Polymer Science Department. Virtually, I've started to connect in the last 6 months to 1 year. But I promise that I'll come here more and more often from Karnataka, although we belong to a little bit, our Karnataka journey ends a little bit further up north. So Mysore doesn't come often. But this is a promise which I make out here that very much will be associated with JC, with Polymer Science Department in particular. And Rupa, I'm anything that you feel appropriate to be done through a professional or a personal, in personal capacity, please feel free and we'll do that. Once again, thank you so much.
So time to reveal the next awardee. So we'll see with that. Now it's my pleasure to introduce a young dynamic achiever from our outgoing batch of the year 2025. This is Mr. Abhishek John Benedict, the recipient of this Abhishek stands typically also out as a deeply committed polymer and rubber technology enthusiast, known for his strong fundamentals, hands-on industrial exposure, and an impressive track record in academic as well as co-curricular leadership. He has completed multiple high-impact internships, notably at JK Tire, where he gained practical experience in tire manufacturing, compounding, product and raw material testing, and calibration techniques. At CIPET, he worked with advanced instruments and sharpened his troubleshooting skills in injection molding. He also worked as a quality inspector at Lumax Automobiles, handling large volume inspection and defect analysis on the shop floor. Anyhow, these are his previous credentials. He did his diploma, then joined here for PE. So these two were his previous experience for which we are not awarding, but came along with his credentials. We have been with him since 3 years, and out of all the opinions, he stands here not only for the academic, it's like overall achievements and like contributions and activities. His research credentials are equally impressive. Under a DHD self-sponsored project, he worked on nanocellular synthesis, PLA based green composites, and biomedical scaffold development under the guidance of Department's Associate Professor Dr. K.G. Pradeepa and team. Across his mini project, internship project, and final year project, his focus has remained consistent, sustainable materials, green composites, and tissue engineering applications. Abhishek blends technical depth with professional skills such as AutoCAD for product and mold design, Origin Pro for data interpretation, strong presentation design, and even video and graphic content creation. So many of our previous video things was created by him. He has been a driving force behind several departmental initiatives, managing the department's Instagram account for 2 years, designing posters and book covers, and serving as a founding core member of Rebound, the department's polymer recycling club run by the students. He has actively represented the department at national and international levels, winning the Best Oral Presentation Award at an international conference in 2025, presenting at Polycon 2025 and also at RubberCon 2024 at Kochi. Academically, he graduates with a commendable 8.7 CGPA, complemented by a diploma in plastic technology from CIPET with 80% and additional certifications including AutoCAD design and grade for music theory from Trinity College London. Well-known musical instrument player at gatherings and fairs. With strong initiative, discipline, creativity, and a clear passion for the polymer field, Abhishek truly represents the spirit of an all-rounder, making him highly deserving of the SPG Memorial Best Outgoing Student Award 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in applauding and welcoming Mr. Abhishek John Benedict.
with a warm introduction of EC.
Thank you, Anurag. I request Abhishek John to kindly share a few words at this moment, please. It's good to be back. Uh, Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all again. For those who don't know me, my name is Abhishek John Benedict Puri. And yes, my name is directly proportional to my height. My diploma in Civil joined BE in Polymer Science to lateral entry. And my USN number was 02 GST 22 UPS 400. And my Aadhaar card number was. Now, I'm currently working in Simul Advanced Material, where I've been having the blast of it has been very wonderful to work in that company. For instance, in just 2 months, I've gone to Chennai 3 times and went to Delhi, went to Agra, yes, the Agra, where I analyzed the market and saw the Taj Mahal. And to be honest, Taj Mahal was breathtaking. Everything was white and very clean, just like my M1 results. But tell you something that most people don't know about me, something that shaped who I am. I failed my 10th standard. Not once, not twice, just once. But trust me, it felt like getting hit by an ISO champion impact test. That failure stuck to me like an unreacted monomer. For a long time, I thought it defined who I am. After I joined my diploma, my 10th standard principal told to my dad, directly he told to my dad, I challenge you, he will never complete this diploma. That was his exact words right in front of me to my father. But today I stand here humble because I know who exactly lit the spark in me, the PhD department. Because you know what they say, teachers are your second parents. But in PhD department, they truly are. Teachers like RS ma'am, teachers like RS ma'am, MPC sir, PhD ma'am, and so on. You didn't just teach me, you molded me. And thank you for that. I deeply appreciate that. And yes, I also like to thank MS PowerPoint and ChatGPT. This department was like a mold to me. I was shaped here with heat, pressure, and with a lot of patience and love. But here's the thing: a mold only works if the material lets itself be shaped with basically plasticity. But my dear juniors, I see immense potential in you, potential far greater than mine. But it pains me because some of you have cross-linked yourselves. You made yourselves rigid, resistant, afraid to change. Break that cross-link. Today, by God's grace, I have an amazing job, great friends, great team, a great self.
how much salary you ask? It's 10 divided by 4,300 whole square multiplied by 10 to the power 6. Good luck. I was blessed to be under KG2 now, where I had the freedom to explore my project ideas. That happened because of my project partner, Nidhi. Without her, I couldn't explore those ideas. And a small suggestion to this department. If a team comes to you voluntarily and if they show passion and potential, please allow that team to be formed. Because that freedom gave me one of the best final year project experiences in my life. I grew during FIP. I grew with every lab session, with every failed experiment, every presentation, every challenge. And when my results came, I finally realized something. If a 10th standard failure can stand here today, receiving this award, imagine what you can do. You have talent, but some of you are masking it. You're keeping the lid shut. Open that way. So my message here is simple. Allow yourself to be molded. Realize that you're being loved. Give that love back to them. Allow yourself to be changed and break that costume. Because in life, you can either be phenomenal or be forgotten. And I believe each one of you was born here today to be phenomenal. And remember, you are very much loved. Thank you.
Thank you, Riyabi. We have a process in place to select both the alumni award as well as the best outgoing student award. It's a series of discussion, nominations, identifying, recognizing, voting, and all those happens, and finally it comes to this. So there are 4 competents along with him, and he was selected. Similarly with the sir. I thank both the winners. And there's one more thing, like in our recent department advisory board meeting, one of the representatives asked, why only all-rounder first award? Why not the second and third? Yeah, even we felt that. He has proposed that, and it's open, and we'll discuss during the alumni meet also. So how about having award 2 and award 3 also, so that will motivate more students. And this was initiated by our state sir in the name of SPG Memorial Award. So I thank him also. Thank you, sir. So now it's time to listen from our beloved principal sir of SJC, Professor Natarajan sir, who is the Engineering and Technology at JSS Science and Technology University. He's also from Civil Engineering Department. That's how our HOD said probably is both pillar and bridge supporting the whole of the activities in the campus. So I request for
Tutur Gurpat. That's one more technical alumni. Also, the Tej Kumar. Award. Rupa. Polymer. All my colleagues from the department, from the department, Polymer Science department, and dear friends. Indeed, I am happy to be here for the inaugural program of this award event at the degree. We have 3 events today. One is the YUDO Best Polymer Technical Award. It is for the 5th edition. That has been happening. Happy that our own Josie has distinguished ceremony of God. And another is SPG Memorial Best Outgoing B Student Award for Mr. Abhishek John Benedict. Yeah, just now he spoke very well. Then another event is PSC Alumni Meet. It could be any number.
you are doing regularly for the debate. First of all, yeah, we have to remember all three stalwarts of the departments. Yes, Professor Jagdish, he is also my teacher. Sidramaya, Professor Sidramaya, and Professor D.M. Shashidhara. Professor Sidramaya and I started the journey together. I was admitted to be during those days. He has started his project in the under the guidance of Professor Jagdish in the same year. Okay, we both stayed in the Montecoppal hostel during I think 86, 87. Uh, we used to travel for the breakfast, even for the dinner together. When there is no mess in the college, we used to cook in the hostel, in the Montecoppal hostel. We have started that also. Yeah, definitely we cherish the memories of Professor Sidramaya, a very humble person, rural background. He used to say that, yes, you have to build a good, uh, great rural students. That memories will come. Yeah, definitely. Maybe you have another program in the next month for remembering all those three eminent personalities from the department. Also, we remember Mr. Joshi was remembering the good old days, the downs. Yeah, definitely we cherish that downs also. Yeah, definitely with the visionary of Swamiji. Yeah, definitely it has been grown. He is 62 years old legacy. Yeah, it's changed. I mean, being changing even today. So maybe another 3, 4 years, entire campus will be changed. Yeah, which is only he has blessed with the construction of an academic and administrative block. Both the hostels, both girls and boys hostels are near the 14 to 15 floors. Then we have academic block for the G plus 8 floors. The entire campus we are being planned for step building. Okay, this will be maybe another say 3, 4 years. The entire the plan and yeah, definitely we protect the greenery of the entire campus. Okay. With this background, I congratulate the Department of Polymer Science and department for being conducted for several years. Maybe fifth edition, the YUDO Best Polymer Physical Award. I mean, it's voted by YUDO Best Polymer, YUDO Hot Runner India Private Limited. Let me congratulate and thanks for Mr. Agarwal also, who spoke very well in the yeah in the message he has given. I my sincere thanks to Periyaswamy also he is representing the Judo Partner India Private Limited Mumbai. Thank you, sir. Again, my sincere request to the other alumni, whatever you can do for the department, little contribution from my audience saving other. ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಖಂಡಿತ ಜೋಶಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು year onwards will completely involved with the department. Keep coming to Mysore, sir. Also visit departments. ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ನೀವು encourage ಮಾಡಿ students, especially for students. I used to say my students, civil engineering students, be a civil engineer. Likewise, I even my sincere thank into appeal to your polymer science students, be a polymer engineer. Maybe the 10-15% may be offer IT sectors. At least only 80% of your polymer science engineer rather definitely you can, we are speaking sustainability now. Plastic is one of the important products. We want to reduce the plastic for industry. Maybe you have seen IRA building. There are many. The Banerjee research Institute started. Maybe my sincere appeal to department also can take students to the IRI building and let them on witness the how exactly the research is going on in the IRI building. BA Polymer Science. With this background, let me congratulate both the awardees. Joshi and also Mr. Abhishek Benedict. Keep continuing the department, so keep awarding the distinguished award as well as the awards. My appeal to your students also keep coming to the department. At least ಒಂದು 5 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದ್ಸಾರಿ ಯಾರು ಬಂದು ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೇಗಿದೆ, ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟೀಸ್ ಹೇಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಹೇಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನ ತಿಳಿಸಿ. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಪಾಲಿಮರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೀರೋ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ IT ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಹೋಗಿರೋ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ನೇನಾದ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ನೀವು ಸೊ only thing is the department can give only the foundation. Only foundation. I used to say. So superstructure you have to build on your own with the support from the alumni industry. We used to say there is a huge gap between the industry and academia. That gap has to be minimum as far as possible. By the interaction between the industry people and as well as the academia, our professors and teachers. Definitely the gap will be reduced. So we just please think over the department for giving me an opportunity to speak few words the alumni as well as the students. Thank you, Ananda. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಜೈ ಹಿಂದ್, ಜೈ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ. Yes, sir. So as was the principal sir said, those of you who are new to this IRI meeting, after the event, kindly visit the Vanity Center of Excellence. It has come in a very nice and bigger. Third, trying to thank all the people, known, unknown, seen, unseen, have been contributing for success of this event and this whole journey, standing down the security because they open very early in the morning, all the rooms. So I call upon Dr. A.B. Hemavati to kindly propose the vote of
morning, invoking the blessings of His Holiness Jagadguru Shri Shivaratri Deshikendra Swami Madam, respected dignitary, and Abdalaya, once again a warm greetings to one and all. It's my pride, pleasure, and honor to be in this August gathering. Today, I am blessed with the present responsibility to express our gratitude to one and all. It is with the divine blessings of Almighty and His Holiness Swamiji that we were able to organize events and many more activities since past 3.5 years. First of all, I thank today's invitee. So let us thank today's president of the event, Dr. C. Nandarati, Principal, Dean, Engineering and Technology, SPC, Science and Technology University, who always inspire all the stakeholders towards enhanced contribution. Sir, our wholehearted thanks to you and we request your constant guidance and support to the prosperity of our donors. Thank you, sir. Our most respected Agarwal, President, Guru Groups, Mumbai. Sir, it is with the kind support that we were able to identify and honor our best performers here on the. It is really a great pleasure that it will in turn motivates lot of our ability. And district and its alumni, I express my thanks to you, sir. Deliver as before. I also express my thanks to the who praised the occasion representing the I sincerely thank H. Kumar, proud alumni and associated vice president of Toyota. He associated with all of us as a member of family and serve our students every year. I thank you, sir, for all time and we expect the same in future. And I also place a special thanks for hosting SPG Memorial Best Outgoing Student Award. Thank you, sir. I thank today's center of attraction, Mr. A distinguished alumni for I thank our beloved HOD. She is very much behind all of us to continue the legacy of the department and hence this event materialized today. Thank you. So I thank all the staff of Polymer Science and Technology for their timely coordination and support in organizing this event. And I extend my special thanks to our privileged stakeholders, our alumni, all of you who have come from various parts of the country and the globe to join this program. So during the remaining weeks of the year, many of us will visit us and motivate our students and share your experience and on behalf of our management, university officials, and staff of Polymer Science and Technology, I thank you one and all, and I request to extend your cooperation in future. We extend our special thanks to all our student volunteers for their involvement in all the activities of the department. Without all these activities would have been material. Thank you all. Finally, a special thanks to Dr. Chandra for his particular planning and for overall coordination of the event. Thank you. Thank you very much. So after this event, we will adjourn for the high tea and then we will come back again for the special lecture.
Thank you, Polymer. So if you want to enjoy the cultural event, if you want to enjoy the weekend, kindly come back soon. So we just break for 15 minutes. Just a minute.
One more request to our holding a global alumni meet of JCL is on December 20th, third Saturday. Year afterwards, we are marked for the third Saturday, third December, Saturday of December as for the global alumni meet. I request all the alumni to please participate in good numbers. Thank you.
We'll start by 12, move sharply. So kindly have your writing be back soon, please.
All the four were alumni.
Good. That's it. Good. Very fast. So all the four are alumni, whatever branch. Okay. And one more thing, Abhishek had left one information for me to share. Abhishek is working and he said he has great experience working with this industry. In 2 months, he went around so many places. He had his blast there. So that's also alumni industry. So he's working with one of our alumnus. And that alumnus is present here. That's it. It's all alumni meet in different places. I'm just waiting for people to come. Aliman, can you request Jyotiman to come? So Joshi sir asked, what shall be his topic of interaction with you? The options given were compounding of plastics, color master batch and matching with textile, or life in plastic industry as a professional. So we wanted to give him a task again. We said, yeah, we want life in plastic industry as a professional for sure. But we also request you to cover the other two aspects out of your expertise so that it makes some sense for the students and the alumni sharing the opportunities that are available in those industries. So, permission of the convener, we'll begin the session 2. I request Mr. Joshi sir to kindly deliver his expertise. Let's all welcome him back.
Very much. First of all, can I request everybody to come front?
And second of all, if the participation is not so strong, we'll cancel the lunch.
So please come front because I'm not going to speak with a mic there. I'm going to be on the floor.
Last 2 rows, please get right up. Last row, here also, last 2 rows. Please, fast, fast, be fast. Be fast. We have to leave this hall by 1 p.m. I think every lot of cultural activities and entertaining activities are there, games and so many things. Please fast.
Uh, without the mic. So आवाज आता है। घर के अंदर नहीं आता है। You are- So, so I've been married more than 25 years. Okay. So anyone who is married more than 25 years, आवाज सिर्फ घर के बाहर ही आता है, घर के अंदर नहीं आता है. So don't think that ये घर में भी ऐसा ही होता होगा. Completely wrong. Right? So first of all, thank you, Rupa ma'am, and the department for giving an opportunity to come here and to discuss. So I want to make an offer to the following alumni of 2006. How about trading this jacket for your T-shirt? I'm really happy with your T-shirt. Right? But I will get you one. Okay. But I'll give you this one. I don't like the jackets and I don't like the.
Yes, it's for
Right.
of 93 past out 2006
Sir, mindal पहले last वाली mindal अष्टे young sir now. And there's a reason why kind of remove the jacket. I don't have it. Okay. Rupa ma'am asked me to send pictures. I sent her 25 pictures and she was not approving any picture. Okay. If somebody sees Rupa ma'am's phone, so a doubt. Sorry, Rupa ma'am. I photo ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. I sent 25 photos.
ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ
She didn't approve even one. I said, ma'am, I'm finished. I don't have any more photographs in my cell phone. Either money, you just put a blank name and yeah. Jokes apart. Sorry, man, I put you in the spot. So I like to. I was wondering how do we start this session, so that it's meaningful, right? It's not because it adds some value without giving gap. So we were discussing and she talked topic, and I still today morning I was still wondering how do we start this and how do we kind of take this forward. So our principal sir made a very nice statement. I pull it from there. Okay, principal sir said that there is a gap between industry and academia. Right? He said there is a gap. Now, like all such statements, truth is always in between. It's neither 100% right nor 100% wrong. There are elements where there definitely is a gap. There are elements, the reason why people like Tej and everybody and Akshay and whatever little we've achieved in our professional career is because of the strong foundation we've received in academia. So truth is always in between somewhere. It's not always. But there is one area, and this goes straight away to industry, where there definitely is a gap, right? And people who, I think so, I'm not necessarily very conversant with the exact syllabus that, not just in polymer science, but in any engineering. But there is one area which I think fits every professional as soon as he or she starts to go and work in an industry, particularly if it's a manufacturing industry. And this is going to be an interactive session. Okay? I'm not going to speak for 30 minutes. So what is that gap? That there is a big gap there. No two doubt. Anybody can, and it's true, not polymer science only, across engineering or any science subject, MSc, BSc, whatever you do. And what is that area? Anyway.
Academia is found by syllabus. Whereas when you say the real world, it is all about the.
Fair point. So there is, forget academia for a minute. There is one element which is so critical, especially in the manufacturing industry, or an R&D lab, or any laboratory, or any of that sort, for which we are absolutely not prepared. And this is not just polymer science, anything. Again, anybody? Gelling with people. Yes. Okay. Again, it falls in between, right? Some people gel fantastically, some not. But yes, your point is valid. Anybody else? Soft skills, correct?
Real,
Pardon?
real,
Real time demands. Okay. All good points. Anyone else? Still, all very valid points. But there's one word which I'm this thing, and again that kind of shows we are not talking about it at all here. Innovative, okay, debatable, but yes.
The process. Like what you have learned in the college.
I'm saying you graduate as an engineer with this thing. I'm from JC, I'm from IIT, I'm from whichever NIT, I'm from wherever I am. When you go and work in an industry, especially manufacturing related industry, it hits very strongly for which we are not prepared.
Artificial intelligence.
Pardon?
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. Okay, I'm completely illiterate in artificial intelligence, so I would tend to agree. But somebody else would, maybe Abhishek will not agree with me. But what? Okay, this is related to safety. The most important thing in a manufacturing industry when you go and start to work is safety. Right? Most companies today, and I think I can speak for Toyota Bose also, we have a rule that every meeting starts with safety. Every slide, every presentation starts with safety. How many times in my 4 years in JC, we never talked about safety? In your 4 years, probably you never talked about safety, right? And that is all we talk about. No, I'm exaggerating, but that is so important. Okay, so important. Okay, I'm speaking this of personal experience. I said I won't speak anything about book. ज्ञान दे रहा है हिंदी में there is a term, अरे क्या ज्ञान दे रहा है तू करके, right? There's nothing of that sort in the next 30-40 minutes, whatever. Right? Out of my personal experience, and I wish and I hope that none of the people here have that experience which I have experienced about 2 years back. 2 years back, inside a blow molding machine, in Sanjay sir said that I was responsible for 16 manufacturing sites. In one of those 16 manufacturing sites, we had a fatality. Came in between the molds of a blow molding machine and spot. Now we all work on machines. We will all, most of us, many of us will work on machines. Many of us will work in the labs. Many of us will work in processing at our end, at customers' ends. And there are risks all over the place, right? If you are fortunate to be part of a company which values safety, there will be, that's probably the first thing in your orientation that Toyota Bose will tell you to. They won't tell you anything. Safety will be the first thing they will ask you. Because so we were pride, we had pride in ourselves that we had a good safety culture in that organization. And we were continuously building it. It was a acquisition which did not have a good safety culture. But then it was our responsibility. We were trying our best to do that, to impart, to make sure that the right safety culture comes into an organization so that anybody who comes to a factory or a laboratory comes safely and goes back safely. Right? And that 3 months period after a fatality, you are in operations. You know how it happens. You know how somebody gets a scratch or a finger or an LTI or all of that. Guys, I didn't sleep for a few days. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. When we did the root cause analysis, we saw the video maybe 100 times. And to see a guy on your watch, although I was not sitting in that factory, not thing, but as the managing director of that company, it was my responsibility, it was under our watch that one person lost his life. in a machine which is very well related to us in the sense that I'm sure you guys at some point of time, some of you might go and work on similar machines. It's a blow molding machine. It was making tanks, those big tanks that are there on the rooftops, right? A blow mold. And a guy got in between those molds. Imagine. So sorry to begin on a very morbid note, but I was just, this wasn't planned, but I just pulled on what Nataraj sir mentioned, that there is a gap between industry and academia. And several of the points are all valid points, what the people mentioned, but it could be debated. It's very subjective. But one, I think in most of our academic institutions, I don't think it is subjective. I don't think we teach safety. Do we? Please, absolutely. I mean, this is not a.
Since you mentioned about safety, all the 4 guys sitting over there, okay, they were students last year, they're my colleagues now. Okay, so they joined us. So they will be able to relate what you meant. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಓಡಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. So we are very strict and particular about safety, and as you rightly said, this is not only from the ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸುರಕ್ಷತೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ. So however, from my organization, in fact, I am very strict on safety, and we are at the moment we are rated as we train all Toyota Group people on safety. We have reached the benchmark level, and I personally I have challenged the global headquarters that by 2030 my Indian plant will be the center of excellence globally. So because I want to prove to them that we are no less than a Japanese, so we are going to go on. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, as you rightly said, he mentioned in the talk, ಒಂದು ಕಟ್ ಇಂಜುರಿ ಆದ್ರೆ we have to report within 24 hours globally. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವೈವೇ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಕಟ್ ಇಂಜುರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ. But actually that is also reported. So when he talks about an incident like this, I can understand the pain. ನನಗೆ okay, fortunately in our company ಈ ಒಂದು ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ molding machine 100 rupees ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ರೇಟ್ 100 rupees ಅಂದ್ರೆ we pay 130 rupees or 30 rupees extra for building safety into the machine. We 1.5 year back, one of the holding company in Bangalore, same incident. I think you would have heard about one member 3010 machine. Okay, on the spot. So then we have been, since we are an injection molding company, so ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ಮೆಜರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಜಿಯೋ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ನಂಗೆ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜಿಂಗ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ he told 4 days. I don't think it is 4 days because he has to attend to legally, family, compliance, a lot of things are there. But I'm very happy that he picked up a topic which is not from the career safety and all. ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆ. When you enter into a campus of any manufacturing unit, forget about manufacturing in design center. ಏನ್ accidents design center ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, but how much sensitivity you have towards safety ಅನ್ನೋ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ maybe his words today should trigger to every one of us, including me. I'm happy. So if required, okay, I have been training many industry CEOs and even Coimbatore, Madras ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ on how to handle safety. Okay, and safety for students ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ I'm ready to support the program, and we will do it. Also do a program on how we can look at safety, including my facility what we are setting up. Anyway, our colleagues know very well, but we are coming up with a new learning and development center in 2 months' time with the next level of safety measures, teaching point out. So I can invite the students also to experience that, and give them an orientation on safety, making his words, I shall do that.
Wonderful. Thank you. So again, I'm not sure if this was what you thought when the session started. This is what you would hear, but this is the most important thing. Nothing is more important, right? I mean, I did not want to say that. So they said, first, you don't want to be in a site where something happened. You don't want to be the person to go and tell the family, I'm so sorry. In our factory, your son, your daughter, your brother, your whatever relative, he lost his life. I'm sure I don't wish that on any one of us out over here. And the only way that can happen is if each one of us is individually conscious about safety. And you cannot separate the personal and professional life. You cannot say, "Nan factory nalli a gate enter admele I will be safe, or I will have a safety mind. When I'm at home, I'll do whatever I want." Right? It starts from home. Anyways, so safety. So I said that I think I picked that up from principal sir, and I thought this is a great thing because in our companies, like in his companies and many other companies, this thing, no meeting starts without safety. The first slide in a meeting is about safety. 5 minutes about safety, and then it proceeds to other meetings. Fair point. So let's move on from safety into a bit more other topics. So I said that I won't give any generic yarn. I try to weave in my experiences over the past 32 years, all of which in the plastic or polymer industry in some sense, and then see how it will, try to share that experience with this group, hoping that it will benefit some. So today I said 32 years. So first 32 years, I mean, you could divide this into two parts. The first half of my career, 15, 16 years, I've been more on quality, production, product development, formulations, technical support. So you can say all on this aspect of it, and mostly it has all been in the compound. The last 16 to 20 years have been more in general management. But the polymer science engineer that this department planted the seed in my mind never lets go of the technical aspect. Never lets go of the technical aspect. Right. So first of all, what is it that you think will happen? We have 4 alumni who are part of Toyota. How recently have you joined Toyota? 4 months, right? So what was the biggest change? What did you expect, and what went as expectations, and what went different from it? You can say it, right? Today they can speak freely, right? I know. We put a earplug on. Earplug on. So what was different? So what came as a shock to you? यार ये तो मैं पढ़ा ही नहीं. I never know anything about this. Not necessarily related to polymers as such, because you're not talking about polymers here. Talking a life in a plastic industry. So what came as a shock? Completely different from what you anticipated. Right. What else? ಗಾಡಿ ಓಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟ್ ಹಾಕಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು He's a culture for that. He's a culture. The same culture in our campus. If you adopt the same culture in our campus. Sir, now Jawgal Srinath bowling without helmet. Jawgal Srinath bowling without helmet, it's impossible now. Right? It's impossible. So there's a big shift. Okay. So when I joined 1993 as a trainee engineer, right, which I'm sure today will never happen on a Toyota Gosai campus, never happen in many campuses in India. My managing director at that time. So I was on the shop floor doing something. So my MD at that time came down on the shop floor. Let the introduce, okay, Krishna, how is it? You know, it was just like 1 month, not even a month or so, few days. So his first question was, four-wheeler chalana aata hai? I said, two-wheeler aata hai, four-wheeler nahi. That's fantastic. You will learn your four-wheeler here. I was happy, gaadi dekhi. Right? So he said, ये forklift hai. In 1 week's time, I want you to see driving the forklift. You are all happy. Forklift चलाने का license मिल गया, right? Verbal license, okay, which would never happen today, right? We would today never tell anybody to drive a forklift, but this has been also the change, okay? This has been also the change. What's not the change, okay? So how many of you here understand Kannada or who are from Karnataka? And the reason I say that is almost everybody. So how many of you have heard of DVG? Right? So forget what. So DVG one kade that he is a Tarani. He says he is not a literature, he is not a scientist, he is not a philosopher, he is not a spiritual person, he is just a wanderer. I just wander from one place to another place, trying to pick up things, trying to understand things every day, and then try to contribute it back. Right? So DVG has mentioned that. So that's brilliant. I mean, those of you who know, I mean, many of you know Kannada. I mean, I sincerely wish you read DVG because it's very much related to a. I mean, he's very practical and you can apply it very. So he says that word Tarani. I think that's what we need to do in the industry. So when we go there, especially, I mean, Toyota goes there, you won't know 90% of the things that they are going to teach you. Right? But what you carry with you is the fundamentals, the strong fundamentals of the chemistry, the processes, and this thing. So this is the fundamental is there, but that is not going to be sufficient. That is the base. Now, how you utilize that base, or how we utilize that base, and work in the industry to gain our knowledge, and most importantly, to contribute back to the companies where we are working for, is most important. I mean, every year there must be hundreds of people who join your company, not only from Polymers, from all sections and all this, right? Or for that matter, any company, our company, your company, how many people rise to the top, right? Whichever place. And the thing is not how good you are in polymer chemistry, it is important. How good you know your processing, it is important, right? But it is also how we apply that and what attitude we show towards applying that, right? And what attitude we show towards applying that. Because as soon as you go into the industry, especially if you are going into a little bit smaller industry, company as such, right? I mean, then there will be a whole bunch of other people who will be there who have much more experience than you, but not necessarily the educational background, right? I mean, this group of people is fortunate that you've been able to get an educational background, polymer science knowledge, in this college, in this department, under the guidance of this teachers, right? So that base, how you utilize it, whether you work in a QC, whether you work in an R&D, whether you work in a manufacturing, production shop floor, or in sales and marketing, or for that matter, any function. Okay, that is very critical, right? It's the attitude which matters. I mean, I think I can speak for many people today. When we hire people today, we hire mostly for the attitude and the temperament. Skills, knowledge can be taught, can be imparted, can be trained. Attitude is difficult to impart. Attitude is illinda right? It has to come from within, right? And how you do, how you impart that attitude, how you show that attitude, how you demonstrate that in the way, whichever part you are doing. Because to me, the first 2 to 3 years after graduation, wherever you are working, is a continuation of the learning process. It's a continuation. You are going to learn more, contribute less, and if you are fortunate to be a part of a good company, they'll encourage you to learn more. They'll invest in you to learn more. Okay, they'll invest in you in the hope and expectation that they're putting a bet on you, investing in you. Over a period of time, you will start to contribute. Right? So again, if it's R&D, they'll invest, invest in learning more things, more this thing. But that attitude element is the most critical. Right? Because polymers basically of learn. Right? And today, compared to back when we were there, we had so much struggle to learn new things on what is happening in the world. He mentioned thanks to PowerPoint, thanks to ChatGPT, and thanks to Bing. We would never have been saying that if we were standing on this dais at his age. Right? Computer, we have to go in the line and apply again. Slot book ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. Slot book ಮಾಡಿ keyboard press ಮಾಡಿ yeah. Right? And so the one thing that this thing is, you have to demonstrate the hunger, a hustle to learn new things and to be part of the company, especially when the company needs it. Right? Suppose I'll give you a practical example. You're working in a quality laboratory, right? Somebody doesn't turn up, or there is an important task. Your job ends at a particular time. Your reliever doesn't turn up. What would you do? There are two ways. I'll say my work-life balance. Okay, my work ends here. My life starts now, 3 p.m. If I've gone at 7 p.m., I'll do it. Fair point. No harm in it. Other thing is say, okay, there is a need. I don't raise my hand and do something different beyond the call of my duty. Then, one, the company needs it, so you demonstrate that. It's also a learning. Okay, it's also a learning. This person has shown a willingness to learn and willingness to raise his or her hand and be part of things, understand the company's needs, understand the organization's needs, and is able to learn and flex himself or herself. Chances are that the organization will start to give you more and more opportunities. Now, the flip side of it could be you'll be flooded with opportunities. We've all been through that. I'm sure Tej has raised his hand multiple times when he was in his early 20s, and he would have got, and sometimes they'll take advantage of it. यार ये करता है ना इसको ही दे दो ಇವ್ನಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಇವ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ನೀವು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇವ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ ಅವ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಡಿ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ ಇವ್ನಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ happens, right? Right? Now you may creep about it and say, yeah, ಏನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ವೀಕೆಂಡ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಮೀ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಯಾಟರ್ಡೇ ಅಂಡ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಯಾಟರ್ಡೇ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಡೇ ಈಗಲೂ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಈಗಲೂ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ರೈಟ್ ಸೊ then ನಾನು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು but eventually it will pay off. So again so eventually it will pay off. Right? The other thing more specific related to polymer industry is there are fields which need to explore more, which may or may not have been taught to the extent. And again, apologies, I've not seen the latest syllabus. So maybe something what I so maybe what I'm saying is not exactly correct. So okay. So I'll give you one example where I am a part of. I was a part of relatively recent. This is color matching. Okay, you do that. One of companies. Okay, so who understands color matching? Right, LAB values, right? LAB, understand? So dress ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಲೌಸ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಹುಡುಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ರೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋಸ್ ಲೈನ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಆಗಿ ರೆಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಲೈನ್ ಆಗಿ ಪಿಂಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಲೈನ್ ಆಗಿ the expert people in your family will say will spend 1 hour at that shop trying to look for the right green which will match with the green of this album. Am I right or am I wrong? Right? But the non-expert will say, "Yeah, what is this? I mean, this is also green. This is also green. Green, the lane difference. Extra time waste is this, right? This is an amazing industry for professionals. I mean, for people, this. If you have interest in this, okay. Why I was speaking on automotive? We were making color master batches for automotive car seat fabrics. Okay. So we are making a color master batch, okay, which goes into the spinning of a yarn. Quick question, trivia question. Which is the most common polymer used to spin yarns that goes into the fabrics that all of us are there? Polyester, right? Second, nylon. So how is polyester color? Anyone knows how it is colored? So this, not white, this black or this blue or this maroon or this bright yellow or this, how is it colored? But, right? So traditional coloring of fabrics is a very environmentally unfriendly process. It uses a lot of dyes, uses a lot of water, a lot of steam, a lot of energy. You might have seen those Discovery India videos where they take the fabric, put it in the colors. So here there are boiling vats in which they put this color, water, chemicals, everything goes. Color absorbs onto the fabric, onto the yarn. And then the residue goes out, which is an environmental disaster. Okay, because all those chemicals, all those colorants, all those this thing, anybody, you are near Baroda, right? So when you cross Vapi, many years back, that river in Vapi was never clear. It was always a yellow or a green. You knew what color the next company was making that. Right? So they were all discharged. So what now the new technology, which is again related to a potential area, which probably many of you may not have considered, is you make color master batches. Okay. And you do a very, very accurate color matching. Okay. So that you get the right shade of green or blue or gray or beige or whatever. And then you add that master batch, extrusion and spinning. Is the exact shade of gray or that your mother or grandmother wanted for her sari. Okay. And why I picked on automotive fabrics was that again, now how do you measure color? Right? I mean, there is a visual and then there is a lab spectroscopy method, and you do it. So generally speaking, for an untrained eye, there's an LAB value and delta E value. We won't go into the details of it right now. So there is a delta E. To an untrained eye, 1.5 to 2, you can't make out the difference. To an untrained eye. Okay. So that flow shade, maybe the grandmother who is very picky will make out because she's trained. Okay. But to an untrained, 1.5 to 2, you can't make out. The automotive industry demands on us 0.25. And it's not as easy 1.5 या तो 0.525 में कितना फर्क है, right? It is huge. It is huge. 0.25 consistently every time, and that is where the skill comes. That is where this educational background comes into the picture. That is where the knowledge of polymer, knowledge of the dyes, knowledge of the pigments, if you get into it, that is where the background that this wonderful set of teachers have imparted into you comes into it to make this, right? And the point of this thing is not to, not to push a bunch of students into coloring industry, but it is to just showcase a fact that beyond injection molding, beyond extrusion of films and sheets and this thing, there are much wider scope of products today within the plastic industry that is possible as a potential option, right? Color master batch industry in general, functional master batches in general. Okay, today we have in our organization one of the most brilliant young engineers I've come across in recent times. Okay, he's from UDCP ICT, Polymer. But everything that we are talking, it's amazing how much is shown. So he heads our innovation department. He's probably the same age. He's 26, 27. He heads our innovation department. And this is primarily because of this aspect. It's continuously searching, and he's at innovation not for colors, but for all functional master batches. So if you want to impart UV, if you want to impart, impart fragrance, you want to impart oxygen scavengers, you want to impart biodegradability, you want to impart a whole host of things, right? The knowledge of polymer coupled with the new knowledge of these chemicals that you can get if you show a hunger for it is so important, because chemicals will mill जाएगा, but which chemical to choose for polyester, which one to choose for nylon, which one to choose for polypropylene. That's the fundamental that you guys carry, right? That's the fundamental that you guys carry. So the point being that widen your horizons. Okay, not to say injection molding is not important, not to say extrusion of sheet is not important. There's so much. Recycling is an amazing new area that has come into this thing right now. I mean, especially polyester, anything you go, there's recycling, right? Something most, and I do want to share this out, although I'm getting the hint कि time हो गया करके. No, I'm just taking it. So, which can you guess which is the most unrecyclable plastic? No, obviously. Thank you. Within thermoplastics, which is the application, okay, which is the most unrecycling, to the extent that less than 0.05% of it is recycled today in the world. No, I'm asking in a common language application. We see it every day. Maybe as soon as you go out of it, you will use it. PVC, no, PVC is very much recyclable. Pardon? Application. I'm talking real life application. No, fabric is now, no, polycarbonate very much recyclable. Multi-layer sachets. Example of the application, chips packet. Chips packet. Why is it difficult to recycle? It has polyester, it has polyethylene, maybe polypropylene there. Then to bind those two, there are chemicals which are the tie layers. And when you open a chips packet, what is on the inside? So there is a metal, and what is on the outside? In what shape and form? Printing inks. So this whole melange, okay, makes it one of the most difficult plastics applications to be recycled. So there's a brilliant startup in Pune, okay, who's developed a patented process. Okay, he's figured out a way how to take out the polyolefins from this, how to demetallize this, how to remove the printing inks, how to separate the polyester, how to kick out all the tie bond layers. So he's able to take out polyolefins out of this. He is able to take out the polyester. So how does he do it? He depolymerizes the polyester. So he is able to get phthalic acid, and he's got a bunch of waste. Okay. Google something called as without. One of the most amazing stuff you will find on the list. Okay. So Google something called as this. Anyway, the point I'm bringing that up is, and to say that this guy who started this is a chartered accountant. Okay. He worked in the big four auditing firms, one of couple of those big four, so all these Deloittes and PwCs and EYs and all of those. He worked in those in somewhere in the US and all of that. And he started this company. Now, if a chartered accountant can do this group can do this, right? I mean, we have an entrepreneur in our midst for inspiration. We have been professionals throughout our careers, but we have an entrepreneur here, and maybe there are more which I don't know, for inspiration. I mean, if a chartered accountant can discover a process to recycle one of the most unrecyclable polymer applications, surely that must be inspiration for polymer engineers like us to find that. Right? Not everybody can be an entrepreneur. So again, I'm not doing that. I have not been an entrepreneur. So there's this thing. So I have that limitation. So, but I'm just trying to, I'm trying to open up possibilities, open up possibilities. So like I said, so technical, so these roles I think familiar. Then comes the general management. Right? If people ambition is to get into general management kind of things, then that requires a complete reset of thinking, which we've not learned out. We've learned the engineering background, we got the chemistry background, we got the business thing. Then you'll have to be, first of all, you have to decide whether is that what you want to do, or do I want to be a R&D scientist throughout my life? Do I want to be a salesperson? Do I want to be a business thing? I mean, there is no hard and fast rule. There's no right or wrong about it. But again, sharing experiences. So what then comes here? When I first got on to a board of a company, right, on the board of directors, one of my fellow directors said, so I was very happy, I mean, pehli baar I became the board member and there was a board meeting and it was passed and so Krishna Doshi is now a board member. So he brought me down to earth. So he said, congratulations, welcome to the land of designated jailings. So welcome to the land of designated jailings. So what does that mean? You are responsible as a member of the board, okay, for most things that go wrong with the company, especially when it comes to compliance and regulatory aspects. And most of those things, you are not in direct control. You are not a subject matter expert. You are not the taxation expert. You are not the financial expert. But somebody screws up something there, the noose is on you. Somebody does something wrong, somebody filing goes wrong, and it's a major violation, obviously, right? The noose is on you. HR department doesn't do their job right. Somebody files a labor case, you have to go and okay, I mean, sit at the labor. The other extreme, which I underplayed, but Tej rightly highlighted it out. God forbid if you have something like a fatality, then you are done. Not done. I mean, it's part and parcel. You know what you have signed up for. Okay. So again, that's also an opportunity. Right? There are other so many things that general management role allows you to do, allows you to shape the company, allows you to get strategies, implement them, execute them, which some other roles don't allow you. We may have restrictions because it depends on somebody else. But then it also carries these sort of risks. Right? So let me open it up for questions. I'm getting signals from the family. Let me open up for questions, comments, anything. Because she told me this is a very enthusiastic set of students, so बहुत question आएगा करके and lot of questions you have to be ready for a lot of questions. Our class is outline. Or do you want to send all the teachers out? Allah says, I think we'll have at least a couple of. I'll pick the person if nobody comes. Lady in blue. Anything, comment, question, whatever, anything that comes to your mind. Because your friends didn't ask the question.
Carrying
Good, thanks. I didn't want to impress you. I mean, you've spoken a lot. You can ask.
I wanted to know, how do you inspire people to take safety more seriously?
How do you inspire? Okay. So I don't necessarily agree with many views of what Mahatma Gandhi said. And I'll be very open about this. Okay, I don't agree with a lot of views of what Mahatma Gandhi said, but I 100% agree with one statement that is attributed to him. It is be the change what you want to see in others. So if you want your team or the people around you to follow a certain set of rules, then you've got to demonstrate that yourself first. I cannot go into a floor not wearing safety shoes and then start firing people ki yaar nee shoes yaka kondila, helmet yaka kondila, glasses yaka kondila. Right? First and foremost is that. Okay? Because then the whole impact goes up. So first and foremost is I have to be passionate about safety if I want to make a change in safety culture in the place where I am working. So not just seeing it, I have to be passionate. People have to see that he's really talking from his heart and not just because it is a mandatory requirement or a checklist or a thing. So point number one. Point number two is then somebody mentioned about soft skills. Then it comes to depend on. You will have to figure out with a different group of people what clicks for him or her. If you have somebody in your organization who has 30 years work experience and is an operator on the shop floor, right? But you are, let's say, his manager by virtue of the education and other privileges that you've had good fortune to be. How you get him to first thing, most of those people say, इतना साल से नहीं हुआ इಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇದು ಯಾರು ಇದು ಹೊಸಬ್ನು ಬಂದು ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. That's what we all learn. 25 ವರ್ಷ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಷೀನ್ ಓಡ್ಸಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ನಾನು 25 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಮಷೀನ್ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನನ್ಗೊಂದು ಬೆರಳೆ ಏನಾಕಿಲ್ಲ ಈಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಮೀ ಕಿ ಗ್ಲೌಸ್ ಹಾಕೋ ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟ್ ಹಾಕೋ. Okay, versus there might be a pressure you have taken and hired and doing a similar job or at least on the same shop floor. So how you communicate to that 30-year-old experienced person, communicate to a 30 days old experienced person has to be different. You cannot say yahi rule hai, this is it and just follow it. So you have to figure that out. For that there is no answer. Maybe you have ChatGPT might give the answer. Okay, but then that's where the soft skill, that is the soft skill somebody mentioned earlier in the meeting. So that you have to figure out. Okay, but for both, what goes without thing is what are you doing? What are you doing as an individual? I cannot expect my team to talk about safety, follow safety without me doing this. That answers?
Right.
How the students will get to know what is the right action. So that's really helpful for them to grab the.
You also answer this because it is always element or anybody for that matter who has done an interview. This thing is even when I go and appear for an interview, sometimes I also appear for interview. I change the job 6 months when I did. So first is you have to behave naturally. What comes out naturally to you? To try to fake something. Most of us who are experienced will catch it immediately. You fake an accent, you know somebody who is speaking an accent after 1 year in US versus somebody who is speaking that accent because he or she is born and brought up and 30 years in the you can get to know. Similarly, what somebody says, and most of us who've been experienced in the industry and we also got trained as how to conduct interviews. And what we are all trained is to catch what is the authenticity and the realness with which the person is speaking. Is it coming here or is it coming here? You can say, I am very passionate about safety, sir. Any talk 5 minutes with somebody about safety, you can come to know if he is passionate. I am very passionate about R&D. You can come to know whether or he's not finding anything, but so first my this thing is be true to yourself. And I'll let Tej or anybody else add to what that this one is.
Actually, I don't know. Your guidance is how to get a job. You don't go with the intention of getting a job.
It's not a job, sir, because cracking a job is also one of the important things. Because otherwise, we will not into it.
So, normal ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Anybody, even experience this job, I want to. So,
Inspiration.
you start finding some thoughts. Unknowing. You can easily like people are so overconfident. They will come to interview without even knowing about the company because they know what consultant has told you. In the present chat GPT, all Google ಏನಾದ್ರು ನೋಡೇ ಇರಲ್ಲ. I know about this. Yeah, consultant has told. Consultant never ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ. So authenticity of suitability plays an important role. Ali basically marks if when I sit, I never give importance to marks. Primary marks anybody can score. Okay, but 9 CGPA ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು if he doesn't perform, there's no use. If 6 CGPA is useful, it is okay. Can he contribute to the company? So attitude and behavior ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಮಾತಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So can you that I rightly said, when you frame questions, it may not be like nylon ಬಗ್ಗೆ, polyester ಬಗ್ಗೆ, injection molding ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನಲ್ಲ. That will only give only this much. But other passion, about his interest, and how he is prepared for that. Generally, if you ask more than enough, you'll understand the attitude of the person. How much he is relatively interested in the job or not. He is not passionate, time pass ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So ಅದರಿಂದ, so for the students' point of view, you don't okay ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ attitude ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಡಿ. Attitude ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Be natural, be open, be transparent. If you don't know, don't know. Don't fabricate. Don't nobody. ನನಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವ್ರಿಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. We are not want to know everything. Be honest. Openness, transparency ಇದ್ರೆ any interview you can pass. You most of the interest people will not pass because they were looking at salary, not the job. That's all. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
We all are stakeholders for Polymer education. So I request you all to agree on my request. We just have 30 minutes now. We had committed like we wait debating the 31 hour, probably because of me it's got delayed. Now it's a challenge. I just request all the alumni to stand up once, please. All the alumni from all the classes. Thank you all for your time, patience. Cheers. Now you know what students, so please catch up during the lunch. So that's the network time for you all have. Thank you. Please take your seats. And meanwhile, I request all the alumni, if you want to say anything now, short, crisp, without much of background, we are like really grateful to you. That's what you want. So this is the essence that I want to talk just. Okay, that's one thing. Meanwhile, till they prepare the work for minute and a half, the students, you want to perform something and entertain your alumni and ask them some questions and have some games. This is the challenge. They all talk about, are you exposed to the real time challenges? No, we don't try that. So here is the opportunity. So plan your next 30 minutes how you can do all the cultural activities, game, everything. Whether you cut 2 minutes dance by 1 minute, or you stop all the interest, you just say, cut off all the plans, left you. Okay, take it as an opportunity and do. This is what happens when a teacher comes fully prepared and you master. And he has to do 2 days class in 1 day next. So that's how life is. You can have anything. So please plan well. So plan well now. Meanwhile, alumni, if you want to share anything, Chris, you can. Whatever. Nothing. No shy. Just,
I just want to say one thing what
one of them in the sound and
so my fine. So just what Mr. Krishna said about the safety, right? So safety is one prominent aspect of it. Together with that comes the product safety. Because I work for Polymer, we take safety very, very seriously. Because we manufacture, retain and develop manufacture. Those are all safety critical parts. So imagine a flight when it is emergency landed and the flight won't come. Fortunately, I am part of that. Not good, not well. No matter what, no matter who comes in, and the backup I have, and also safety.
so we have that person because who says this material is okay or not for the flight. His opinion is the ultimate. Thanks a lot. Anybody else? Any mind? Quick sharing. Okay, you all have that time during lunch. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Vivek. I don't necessarily work in the polymer industry, but then I wanted to share. Since everybody's talking about safety, I'll share that we spoke about physical safety, material safety, but we are dealing with a generation which is very new, the Gen Z workforce, right? And their requirement is completely different. So I think we also need to be very conscious when it comes to their emotional safety. We were probably brought up differently, we were built differently. This generation is different. So somewhere we'll have to also respect and also think about how emotionally safe we can make the workspace for all of them. So ensure that aspect also. And again, going back to your point on bridging the gap between academics and the real work environment, right? I think one thing, this is from my personal experience, that nobody teaches is the financial plan, right? So very, somebody said the guy who won the award, Abhishek said that he has got, I don't crack it, but whatever, when you start earning, be very sure about how you plan your financials. You can obviously consult your brother, your elder brother, your parents, but then be very astute when it comes to financial plan and be very open about your emotional well-being. So all the best to all.
Safety all the financial, spiritual. Yeah. Anybody else? Last one.
Couple of points. First thing was regarding the gap. Sorry, the gap is always a driving force. If you recreate the gap, there is no driving force. So gap is okay. Try to bridge the gap. The second thing I keep hearing, which I want to also, I don't know what here. So everybody talks about effort to reward ratio, but I would say it is basically effort to result. It is the results which are rewarded, not your effort. ನೀವು ಮೊದಲು ತಾಸಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಎತ್ತನೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ nobody rewards that. Okay, so basically it is your result which is important, not only just the effort. ನಾನು ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟೆ is okay, ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ hard work is required, but it is basically your result to reward ratio.
So my effort to reward ratio in a company is so bad, effort. But what is the result to reward ratio? I think if you have the right results, reward will be in the pipeline. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಿಚಾರ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. I want to remember our DSA who is not here. ನಾವು ಒಂದು total quality management ಒಂದು elective ಇತ್ತು when we were studying. I don't know whether it is still there and it is still being taught. Yeah, ಅದು it's a very subtle but very important topic. ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲು ಇನ್ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು ಮೋರ್ ಸ್ಕೋರಿಂಗ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಟೇಕ್ ದಟ್ as an elective. But don't miss TQM. TQM is a way of thinking. Okay. So give a little bit of effort on TQM. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ನಾಳೆ ಕಾಲ ತುಂಬಾ ರಿವಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. And then the other point was about creativity and innovation. See, we find a lot of people who are very creative, but they fail to innovate. Okay, so there is a difference between creativity and innovation. I can maybe see anybody who is spontaneously able to think of a solution to a problem or something, or is a creative person. But to put discipline into your creativity and actually make a thing out of it, whether it's a product or a change, is innovation. Either. So just don't use these two words interchangeably. I'm a very creative person versus I'm a very innovative person. There's a lot of difference. We learned it with a lot of time. And Aida Varsha, we were doing a lot of creative stuff in our factory, but absolutely no innovation because we couldn't bring anything to the market as such. So, yeah. The last thing is ಇವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಒಬ್ರು CA ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಲ್ಟಿಲೇಯರ್ ಫಿಲಂನ ರೀಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. ಯಾಕಾಯ್ತು ನೋಡಿ, ನೋಡಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಓದಾದ್ರಿಂದ we would have got some kind of a bias in our mind. We kind of stopped before we tried. But I tell you, from our experience, we have tried to figure out why this is working after it has started working. If we had stopped it even before giving it a try, that is work agadilla, I know about it, and we wouldn't have been able to do it. And if we are actually trying to figure out why it is working after it has worked, it basically means that it was not supposed to be working. ನಾನು ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಬ್ರು ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ. I think me and Abhishek we found that many things are working, but if it was maybe research from the beginning, would not have been done at all. We would have thought illa it work agalla. So even if you feel that out of your knowledge you think that it is not going to work and andru, if you have a slightest of doubt, give it a try. This is basically at least for people who are going into research. Okay, give it a try. There's no harm. You ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, right? So give it a try. And the last thing is, if they about attitude and how do you basically ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, you when you go and sit in front of somebody, you mirror yourself, right? Okay, so as a person, if you are not that good enough, you can't mirror something which is not there, right? You can't take yourself. So you stand in front of your mirror, and just think whether the person in the mirror, do you like that person? Do you think he is a capable person? If you think so, the opposite person will also start to get a feel. Okay, at the end of your course, and I used to always think, in fact, I have offended many people who have scored very well, come to an interview and they have not asked about what they have scored at all. Recently, I asked Abhishek, what is that you have scored? I have not even asked it. So, now I used to little disregard course. I used to think about it. But recently, I have also had this one thing that, see, ನೀವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಈ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಕ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ that's what you have come here for, right? See, marks is something which indicates how well you have been doing it. Are you doing justice to whatever you have started to do? See, if I see somebody with a very low CGPA, there is a possibility that he started out something and did not do justice to what he started out. And he might continue to do the same thing after all. This is a part of it. 7 8 years, even I have felt that marks and person doesn't have any good correlation. But ಏನಾದ್ರು ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ, ನೀವು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಒಂದನ್ನು ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ that will show up somewhere. So attitude is basically, if you are not the right person for yourself, you can't be a right person for anybody else.
Thank you. Nikita, what do you want to do? Please ask. That lunch break networking. Yeah, please take on. Please take on.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Vishal, and I'll be the MC for today's program. So we have a couple of dance and the skit, and we have one game, something for you all. So you all have to involve in this, and you have to encourage all my friends. So first we have Nishita to perform a soulful classical dance. Thank you.
After this event, lunch is arranged at the first floor of the department. You all have to walk till department, network, and then disperse. Thank you, everyone.
The three M teams to energize the teams with vibrant Western performance. Inside came to perform a semi-classical performance. Done. There is no energy at all. What is this class? One more semi-classical dance. Hand over the mic to Kulthum. There is like a couple of games, and I want everyone to involve in this. Thank you.
First, birthday. So to ensure everyone participates and has fun, let's dive into games. Exclusively for the Alumni. So let's begin. Who is
Not me.
let's come on Alumni?
Albert Einstein.
Come on, the Alumni.
Oh, it's a lecture of.
No, it's just one. Abhishek. Personality, scientist.
Einstein.
Who?
Albert Einstein.
What? What's the answer? Yes, yes. No one can point an apple. It's eyesight. Yeah, who's this? The alumni exclusively no second year, no third year, and no fourth year. Alumni meeting point. This is a call.
Next one.
Okay, this is the Polymer backup. Yes, legendary Rajesh Khanna.
Singer.
Who is this? Okay, come on. The Atomic cigar. Sherlock Holmes. Who is this? Nightingale of Bollywood. Seriously, Nightingale of Bollywood. Yes, gets that. No, the first Miss Universe from India. Right? Sushmita Sen.
Milan bro. Sunny H.
No,
Last
no,
one.
no.
Last one. He was like said Sunny H. Guru Dattanda. Guru Dattanda. Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar.
Thank you for your participation. Because of time constraint, because there's some other interesting. Sorry for that. Now we move to the most interesting part, that is drama. Every year we come up with comedy drama. I hope you all will enjoy this time. It's a reality show skit. So yeah, keep bringing laugh now. Thank you.
Oh, Mithun. Pachu.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸ್ವಾಗತ.
Carrot introduced.
ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೊದಲ ದಿನ ಆಗಿರುವುದರಿಂದ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪರಿಚಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸತಕ್ಕದ್ದು.
Big Boss ಚೆನ್ನಾಗೈತೆ. Round. First name.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು
ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ನಾನೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ
ಮಗ ಐತಿ
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಡಾಗೇಶ್ ಅಂತ
96 ಶರ್ಟ್
ನೋಡು ತೊಟ್ಟಿ ನಾಯಿ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಮುಚ್ಕೊಳತ್ತೆ ಆಡು ಆಡುತ್ತೆ ಅದ್ರ ಕೆಲ್ಸ ಅದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳುತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಜಾಕೆಟ್ ಇದೆ
80,000 1 ಲಕ್ಷ
50 ಲಕ್ಷ ಕೊಟ್ಟು 50 ಲಕ್ಷ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಕಸ್ಟಮೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಲಂಡನ್ ಇಂದ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ
ಧ್ರುವ ಅಂತ 12 ಸೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇದೆ ಶಾರುಖ್ ಖಾನ್ ಅಮೀರ್ ಖಾನ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಓಟ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಗೆಲ್ಸ್ಬೇಕು ನನ್ನ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು
ಇದು ತೋಟಬಾಪ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪರಿಚಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸಿದ್ದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ನೀವಿಂದು ತೆರಳಬಹುದು. ಶುಭವಾಗಲಿ. ಈಗ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ 10:30.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಾಪಾ
ಈಗ 6 ಸಂಜೆ 6 ಗಂಟೆ ವಾರದ ಕತೆ ಪ್ರದೀಪನ ಜೊತೆ
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬಂದಿರುವ PhD ಪರಿವಾರದವರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಪ್ರದೀಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿರುವ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಮುಂಚೆ ಮನೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬಲಗಾಲಿನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿ ಕಳಿಸಿರ್ತೀವಿ ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ನೋಡೋಣ ಮನೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಕಾಫಿ ಇದು ಪ್ರದೀಪ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇದು ಬಿಗ್ ಬಾಸ್ ಈ ವಾರ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಜರುಗದಿರುವುದರಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸದಸ್ಯರನ್ನು ಮನೆಯ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹಾಕಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಅವರಿಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ